What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and after months of not reviewing one of these movies, we are finally back with another Disney Channel movie. Now, you guys may have known I recently reviewed the newest Phineas and Ferb movie, which technically could be considered a Disney Channel movie by the standards I've been going by, but the fact is I didn't want to count that, even though it technically is, and at least I still technically reviewed it, and well, whatever. We're actually back on the track with the actual ones the list that I have going on, and today we are reviewing Disney's Genius. I'm putting Disney's Genius in the title. I don't know if there's another movie out there called Genius, so this is odd. The movie is about this kid who is extremely smart and but also really likes hockey, but then for some reason he wants to be a bad boy and pretend to go to high school, which apparently 8th grade is considered high school there in this. So that's not how it was for me. And throughout the most bit of this movie, the first 30-40 minutes of it is relatively boring and predictable, and then the midness is really where the movie fits, and the end is just the final act isn't anything to write home about. But this movie wasn't what I was expecting, and I don't know if that's a good or bad or whatever thing, because of the weirdness that this movie held. Because I felt a lot of weirdness watching this film, and I don't know. I had some moments I really enjoyed, but for the first little bit of the movie, the kid, the first 40-ish, not 40-ish, 25-ish minutes, the main character was so annoying. And I was thinking, are you going to have me annoyed? This is going to be our main character? Are you freaking serious? This is our main character for the entirety of this film. And he got more tolerable as the movie went on. A lot of the side characters are really forgettable. The main one that you remember is the scientist dude and the love interest, which most of the acting is really decent. There's a line here or there that just sounded way off. But the acting, for the most part, was relatively decent. I enjoyed this more than some of the other ones that I've reviewed out of the Disney Channel movie lineup. And just, by the way, since I have Disney Plus, watching these Disney Channel movies makes things so much easier. But the thing is, this one was extremely odd, and I sat through this thinking why through some of it, but I had my enjoyment out of it, and it's just the fact that not all of this movie worked. There was a good bit of it that worked, there was a good bit of it that didn't, and it's just a meh, alright kind of movie. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. It just was it was alright. The story turns out to be a liar reveal story, where he's basically having to be two different people, and then the truth is exposed, and we've seen the liar reveal thousands of times, and it gets repetitive. And I know this was an early movie back in the 90s, but still, this one just gave me a weird feeling in my stomach. I don't know what it is about it. It felt strange. It felt odd. And just sitting through this, things that went through my mind, just don't know. It felt very generic. It didn't know, at some parts, it didn't know what kind of movie it wanted to be. It didn't think it wanted to be a teen comedy, the kid's in college, a genius kid in college, a sports movie, a school movie where you gotta get your grades up, and there's like some small side plots in this movie that don't really go anywhere except for, and then there's the stereotypical the kid gets made fun of. For some reason, he has to teach a class because he's so smart at the college, but the college students act like freaking freshman high schoolers and the bullies and everything, and it's so dumb in my opinion. I'm like, that's not even, I've never even seen a high schooler act like that, and some of the things in this movie just didn't resonate well with me. Now the opening bit with this, I guess it establishes what this movie's going to be, that you got this really smart kid, but it's just a whole bunch of things that didn't sit well. But also, it was better than some of the other movies I've reviewed from the Disney Channel lineup. And we'll eventually get to some of the worser ones and some of the better ones, and there's still a ton of these to get through. I gotta get back to Scooby-Doo as well. But if I don't know what else to really say about this one. There were some heartfelt moments, I'm not gonna lie. There was actually a moment between the boy and the boy and the girl, Charlie I think was his name, and the girl's name Claire. They were about to kiss or whatever, which was actually a really heartfelt moment. And even though it was interrupted, it still felt genuine in the moment. There's times where the kid, the genius kid Charlie, is trying to act cool, but he's already been established as cool, and it doesn't come across right. It really seems very forced. And there's this one like CGI moment in the movie where he's controlling a skeleton that looks so bad and so out of place for a movie like this. And for some reason, there's this gravity manipulation thing that's in the movie. For some reason, that shows back up at the end of the movie, which I'm like, did we really need that? Like, was that so important to the plot that we had to stick that scene in this movie just for plot convenience? It legit felt so forced, and nothing about it seemed needed. And I just sat there and thinking, did this scene need to be part of this movie? Did this scene need to be what it was? Did we need the scene at all? Was a question that popped in my head. And I just sat there thinking, like, some parts of this movie really didn't work. Some of them just worked, and not in the way like, oh, that really worked, but like just was there, and it's something that's in the movie just to drive it. I'll give this movie a 3 out of 5 just to give it a fair rating. I don't think it deserves lower, but I definitely don't think it deserves any higher. Just because there's just not much that blows my mind about this movie. There's nothing that's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe what I just watched moments. But there's also not enough of the okay moments, and there's not enough that was so bad moments, and most of the things that you would consider bad are just cringy in this. Like, nothing's really, oh my goodness, I can't believe they did that, offend me, and oh my goodness. And if this is something some of you grew up with, love it. I'll love it. This just doesn't float my boat. This movie just didn't float my boat, and it's just, I didn't hate it. I had enjoyment in it, but it's one of those movies where you sit and watch it and you think about it too much in the moment and think, because this movie is like, what am I going to say about this movie while I'm watching it? And it's one of those movies where I'm thinking too much about what I'm going to say, and it turns out that it wasn't even worth the things I say about it, because a lot of it just is just really, really dumb, and the movie just doesn't work throughout some of it. And if that makes sense, I would assume that makes sense to a lot of you, but I assume to a lot of you that would make absolutely zero sense. And the fact that, well, yeah, I guess that just, you get that. You get it. But guys, that is all I have to say for this video. I guess I will see you guys in the next one. If you want to check this movie out, definitely go check it out. I guarantee you can go, if you don't have Disney Plus, I guarantee you can probably go get it on iTunes or something. It's probably on there. But if you got Disney Plus, you can go watch it on Disney Plus. That's how I watched it. And also one thing, having Disney Plus makes it a lot easier to watch these movies. I don't have to track them down to find them. So I'm so glad. I hope every single one is on here on Disney Plus. I don't want to track down others, but yeah. So hopefully I'll be getting back to the next Scooby-Doo, which is the Lego Scooby-Doo Haunted Hollywood or something like that. That's the next one, so definitely looking forward to reviewing that film. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.